Hello, everybody, and welcome into another recap here on August 25th, 2021. It is a Wednesday today. It is a second straight red day for me. I only had one play today, and it was in the afternoon. It was on ADTX here. Unfortunately, I missed all of this morning action. I was able to trade this morning. Unfortunately, I just kind of watched it go and for whatever reason was just too hesitant to get into this trade, which is unfortunate. Once we got this morning spike here, it kind of came across my radar. So I did pull up the daily here and I saw this kind of $3 level acting as a lot of resistance over the past few months. So I was hoping for that break of $3. And for whatever reason, when we got it at the open and early in the trading day here, I just didn't take it. And it gave quite a few opportunities for entry here. As you can see, we get through 3, come back and bounce right off of VWAP, back over 3 for another entry opportunity. And this whole way in our dips, respecting VWAP, even right here after we get this kind of push, making slightly higher highs and just a slight pullback here, down to 308, I believe, is the lowest that we get here. That would have been another ideal entry. Unfortunately, like I said, just didn't take them. I was just kind of sitting here just watching this. And especially right here, you've got that $3 whole dollar level and VWAP right at $3 as well. So a really clear 8-cent risk on this play. And then you get that really nice spike almost to $4. So a ton of upside there. And then it did offer more plays throughout the day here of just kind of pullbacks around that 350 level, still honoring VWAP pretty well throughout the day, and just, kind of nice 30 cent or so moves, a 45-cent move here pushing 395. So those are nice, 10-15% quick scalps if you want them. And I'm looking to play it after I already missed this big run up here. It was already up like 70% on the day when it's bouncing around up here. So I just kind of accepted the fact that I had missed it at the time. And then I did have to leave the market for a few hours in the middle of the day around 11:30 or so. And when I came back to the market, it was like right at 150, 155-ish. So I pulled up ADTX. I saw we had this pullback throughout the day in this big candle and that we had fully recovered. And I was just trying to launch E-Trade as quickly as possible and sign in just because I saw us approaching this 350 level again. And I thought we had, kind of pulled back, maybe sucked in some shorts on the day, and we could be setting up for another squeeze if we broke that 350 level and breaking VWAP at the same time, just two, solid price levels to break through. So with, coming to the market and just seeing this price action, I didn't really sit and watch it long enough. I pretty much entered it immediately as we were getting over VWAP here and we got through 350. I really thought that we were going to get a nice push. So we can see here right at 206, I put in a buy order for 300 shares at 350. And it was literally instant. I entered in, I glanced over and saw that my order got full. I looked back at the level 2 and it was showing like 235, and it was just instant pullback within 10 seconds of me getting in, down 15 cents a share, which just kind of stinks because if I would have just been a little bit more patient and my entry, instead of just seeing this and thinking I'm about to miss the move, just take a few minutes to really look at everything, I could have gotten in on one of these pullbacks, maybe like a 340 entry that was holding pretty well for the most part. But like I said, I got in at 350. I did hold through this pullback since it did bounce pretty quickly there. I had a sell order ready to go at 339 if it did crack back below 340. And then we started kind of grinding back up here and we got back through VWAP and then crossed 350 again. And as you can see, did not make it very far, just at 352. And then another quick pullback there, which, I really thought that we had a second leg here in the afternoon once we got through 350. But just watching the level 2, something did just seem a little off about it. Level 2 is this action here. So you watch the bids and the asks stack up, and I don't know, you would just see the ask getting slapped over here over and over again with the sales, and for some reason that number just was never budging. When it was like a lower, like 10 to 15,000, but then we would approach, that like 250 level, and it would be, you know, a couple 100,000 shares on the ask, and it blew through it in like a second, but then got to 252 with only 15,000 sitting there, and you'd see 252 printing and just not taking off that level 2 for some reason, and then just a huge rug pull, or not huge, but you know, 15 cents or so. So then after we got that second pullback there, I put in my sell order and got out at 2:21 p.m. Eastern at $3.40. So I lost, you know, 10 cents a share on 300 shares. It was a $30 loss, which isn't awful, you know, a small percent on, you know, a roughly $1,050 position. To only lose $30 is, you know, not a bad loss. Keeping that percentage small, keeping losses small is key, because, you know, there was, I thought, a ton of upside here. If we did break through that 350 level and potentially testing these highs again, could have been a nice win. You know, you're not going to make any money by not entering a play, and not every play is going to work. Losing is part of it, but keeping those losses managed is, you know, is a key there. So as we can see, once again, I got out roughly right here. So like I said, once we had this big pullback pretty much right when I entered, I did stay in the trade here and let it kind of grind back up. And obviously, you know, got break even on it, but I thought that we had that next leg up. And then once we got that second pull, I kind of just decided that it would be, you know, time to probably get out of the trade. It was just kind of hitting 345 and not able to bust through 345. And then we got this kind of second red candle, not a huge red candle, but just back below 340 again into like the 330s. So I just decided it was time to cut, and once it bounced back to 340 is where I got out, you know, right in here somewhere. Which wasn't a terrible exit. I didn't think, a decent cut, just because you never really know as much as I did. So yeah, this is about where my exit was, and we did get back to 350 and test that again and fail. But at that point, after the two failed pushes that I was in and those two kind of quick red candles, you just never really know when the bottom is going to fall out, and you get, you know, an even bigger candle like this one, or quite a few in a row, like what happened, you know, about 15 minutes after I got out. Then you get another pull and then a second one there. And I just didn't want to get stuck with a bigger loss than needed. As you can see, then it does pull, and it's just been fading all day. So it's unfortunate that it didn't work out, of course, but I don't really regret it, the play too much. I don't think it was a bad play. I do wish that I would have. It was kind of the impatience of watching E-Trade load and trying to get in as it's kind of going through 350. Then as soon as E-Trade finally launched, I didn't even spend any time really looking at the level 2 before I entered, just because I had been watching the chart of it kind of uptrending right there. And I was just kind of in the mode of like, I need to get in this right away before it takes off. So that's the only downside. You know, if I'm coming back to the computer after being away for a little bit, need to just kind of give myself some time, even if a play does look like it's setting up well, just, you know, 5 to 10 minutes just to kind of think everything through and make sure that what I'm entering is, you know, a solid entry. And then if I was a little bit more patient, who knows, maybe I get one of these better entries around 340 or so. I still would have taken a loss on the trade, almost definitely, because, you know, I still would have been waiting for that 350 break and would have got caught in one of these pulls, or maybe it would have just been a break-even trade for me. But it happens. So, you know, keeping that loss small, only a $30 loss today on that. Then let's see, the other play that really took off today that I was watching in the morning, but it just halted right out of the open. And when this happens and you've just got, you know, 3 halts in a row, that kind of just scares me away from a stock as it is. And you can see that we're already up a ton from yesterday. I was watching for an entry around $30 right here, but I never got it because we were getting pretty significant bounces there. It might not look that big just because since it did run almost to $60, but before we had that run, I mean, you can see some of these bounces are, you know, $6, $8 bounces there. So even if you don't have a huge position in them, you know, if you've only got 30 shares, but you're getting $5 a share, that's a quick $150, you know, so that's a solid trade. So I was waiting for that $30 level, and then like I said, I did leave the market around, you know, 11 or so, And so then that is when we got down to 30. Luckily, I'm kind of happy that I wasn't here to get into it. Not saying I would have for sure. I would have tried to talk myself out of it just because, this midday action, I try to stay away from entering positions between like 11 and 1, 11 and 2. And I would have definitely, kind of taken a loss on this pullback down to 28. But then, as you can see, it does kind of recover here across VWAP, test VWAP, and then really take off. Just an insane move here, halted up, and then came out of the halt and just kept running. So, congrats to anybody that was in that trade. I was watching it, but like I said, those first few halts kind of scared me out of it for a while. Luckily, kind of wasn't at the computer for this intraday action to get chopped up, and by this time I wasn't going to enter this trade. It was kind of cool to watch, but like I said, I came back right around 2. So when I came back, it had already just gotten out of another halt and was chopping around here. So obviously there was good upside there. 45 to 59 is a great move, but that's not something that I'm generally going to play too often. So yeah, that was it for me today. For tomorrow, we do have CRM here that had earnings after the bell and is looking like an earnings winner. They had good results and are getting, immediately uptrending here. And if we just zoom out to actually the 2-year here, you can see the all-time highs are at 284. And then if we zoom in a little closer, you can see we've had a lot of resistance at this 270 level, which we're nearing right now. So I think tomorrow morning, if we're not past 270 in pre-market, then a break of 270 in market hours would be, a good entry signal for me. Or if we do gap up over that 270 level, hopefully we kind of get some sort of dip at the open to look for a play there, because if we get through that 270 level, you've got that 284.50 as the all-time highs, which that's obviously, $14 a share just to get there. And if you break out of there, it's all blue skies from there. Who knows? The sky is the limit at that point. So that's really the main watch that I have for tomorrow. I will keep watching ADTX just to see if this does hold up. It kind of faded away in after hours here and then got another bounce over 3 and is kind of sitting right around 3. So we'll see how this plays out. Tomorrow morning, if it's still getting volume, it could be another potential play. The same thing with RGC here. I don't really have a plan for it yet. We'll just see how rest of after hours and pre-market lines up for it. And, who knows, might have another pre-market spiker tomorrow morning, similar to ADTX. You couldn't really plan for this one yesterday afternoon because it was illiquid all day long, no major moves. And then, just about, 20 minutes, not even 15 minutes before the market opened is when it got that spike. So you never know what you're going to get the next morning. I'll definitely be looking around for some new plays in the morning, but as of right now, CRM is definitely going to be my main watch for a potential swing trade, just because I don't have any day trades available tomorrow for an option. And I don't really like buying shares of a $270 stock just because, the percent gain isn't going to be that great there. If, you're only able to buy 5 shares or so, even if you do get a good $10 move up, or $5 to $10 move on it, you're making $25 to $50 on a $1,000 position. That's just not really worth it for me. But if it is holding up well in the afternoon tomorrow, above VWAP, it could definitely be a potential swing if it gaps up, or you never know in the morning. Like I said, if we open below 270 and go through that level, that'll set up nicely. Who knows? I might take a couple shares, just not so much to get the profits out of that 270 trade, and just because, like I said, the percent gain won't really be that great. But I do tend to do a better job tracking trades if I do enter them, even if it's only a few shares. And I have been, over the last few months, kind of trying to track this gap up strategy for swing trades on these higher price stocks. If they gap up and go green the next day, a lot of the times they keep running. And for me, the best way to track it is just to buy about, 5 shares or 10 shares or something like that. Usually they're only, like $80 or $100 stocks that I've been tracking. So with this one, it would probably just be like 1 or 2. but just having that one share will keep it, up on my E-Trade account, and it'll just have me kind of follow it more closely for the next few days and keep track of that swing, just for potential data, just to set up swing trades that I can potentially play options on in the future to save those day trades and then get bigger percent gains, bigger percent returns on them if they do work out. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, CRM is the main swing watch, or the main option that I would be looking for tomorrow. And then as of now, ADTX, today's a big mover if it holds up and is still getting volume. And who knows what RGC will be doing, come tomorrow morning. This stock has gone wild in the past 2 days. So we'll see where it goes from here. It's obviously had some big spikes. Well, let's see, what's that? Not even a week. It's gone from 6 to hitting 60 today. So the sky is really the limit with this one as well. We'll just see how it plays out. But that was my day. $30 in the red. Not terrible. Keeping the loss small. So it is what it is. Thanks for joining, and have a good one.